What is the worst thing about a nice summer day? If you answered mosquitoes, then you're right. So today I'm gonna make some citronella candles to prevent mosquitoes. I'm gonna make mosquito repellent candles using citronella, camphor, not sure if I'm saying that right, camphor, and lemongrass. And when you order a candle kit from us, you're gonna receive step-by-step instructions with photos down at the bottom. These are what they look like. And that gets us to about 1 ounce, which is how much we need for our 10-ounce candle. Mix it together a little bit. It smells very strong, not bad, but like citronella and lemongrass. And camphor is like almost like a little minty or licoricey, but I think it'll smell good and the purpose is to deter mosquitoes. So that will probably work. What to do when making candles is boil your water. So you can't fully see it behind me. Got some pots boiling right there. And when you make candles, you have to melt the wax, obviously. But you can't just put wax into like a regular pan or a regular pot because it will burn the wax. So you need to use a double boiler. A double boiler essentially like sits on top of a boiling pot and the water boils the bottom of it so that it like just doesn't get as hot as if the wax was directly on the metal. So some people, you might have a double boiler at home. I don't. I feel like a lot of people don't. So I went out and found these little aluminum double boilers that sit on top. They, are small enough to ship in your kit. They can only fit 10 ounces of wax at a time. That's one thing to note. So you'll need to make one candle and then you'll make the second candle, but it really doesn't take too much time. So, okay, so here's our setup. Again, the water is boiling under here. And then I poured in my wax. When you initially pour into the wax in, you may need to let it melt a little bit before you pour in the rest. Okay, so now that we have our wax melting in the background, I'm going to prep the 2 pots that we'll be pouring wax into once it's ready. And we know when it's ready by monitoring the temperature, so you'll also receive thermometers in your candle kit. Okay, so for prepping the candles, we have wicks, we have stickers so that we can place the wicks on the bottom of the candles, and we have these little popsicle sticks with a hole in it so that you can thread your wick through and it'll sit on the top and hold your wick in place in the center. These little stickers are pretty handy. You can also use glue, hot glue, probably super glue, but these are just more convenient and save you time. So you just place it, it's sticky on both sides, place it on the bottom of this little aluminum piece, and then you place this in the center of your jar. And then we'll place the wick candle holder. You'll thread the wick through the popsicle stick, and then that's it. These will be prepped for once our wax is ready. Now that those are done, we're gonna start monitoring the temperature of our candles. I'm gonna go back and check. I've tested 2 different candle methods. It's important that they are heated to a certain temperature and that you add the fragrance oil also at a certain temperature. Okay, so now that the candle wax has heated to 180 degrees Fahrenheit, not Celsius. I just realized I was looking at the Celsius read for a while. We're gonna let it sit. Now we want it to cool all the way back down to 115 before we add the fragrance in, and then we'll pour the wax after that. Once your wax has reached 180 degrees Fahrenheit, you can remove it from the stove so that it will cool faster, because it will probably take 20 minutes to cool down to 115. I do recommend putting it on some sort of hot pad or paper towel so that you don't damage your countertops. Okay everyone, we're finally down to 115 degrees Fahrenheit, so it takes about 15 to 20 minutes to cool. vary depending on the temperature of your home and the countertop. And I'm gonna pour the fragrance. So this is the fun part. You can gently pour it in. Some people say it's good to avoid bubbles because if you create bubbles in your wax, then that's also what can potentially cause some sinkholes once it dries or hardens. I'm just gonna mix it around a little bit. And now I'm gonna pour. So you wanna make sure that your wick is in the center and that your popsicle stick hasn't fallen off to the side. And then we'll gently, slowly pour the wax in. It smells like a citronella candle. Here we have our 2 mosquito repellent candles, and they take about 24 hours to harden. You'll notice gradually that they'll start to turn. This yellow color will turn white. And it'll probably harden before the 24-hour mark, but it might not be hardened all the way through, so I do recommend waiting 24 hours. And then we'll light them and see how they do. Hopefully this will mean a couple less mosquito bites for us all.